Is it true that Jungkook left a secret trail in Tokyo that made Jimin unable to hold back tears? Discover the surprising facts behind this story, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Is it possible for a city as popular as Tokyo to keep a little secret that only two people, Jungkook and Jimin, understand? Imagine the situation. A narrow alley in the Shibuya area full of flashing neon lights, the roar of vehicles and thousands of pedestrians scurrying on the sidewalk, suddenly leaving a quiet space for a moment so deeply valued. This is the beginning of a story that stunned the entire army. Jungkook's secret trail in Tokyo that supposedly made Jimin burst into tears, sparking an uproar in the fandom universe. Is this really happening? What is the motive and setting behind this moving moment? And more importantly, how did Jimin react to the trail that Jungkook intentionally or unintentionally left in the city that has often been used as a symbol of BTS's journey? If you were curious, write your opinion in the comments, like if you think this story is exciting, and subscribe so you don't miss the next mystery story that will be revealed soon. From the moment the rumors first began circulating in the ARMY community, many questions arose. Did Jungkook really leave something secret in Tokyo? Is the trail really for Jimin, or maybe for another figure? And what tickles the soul even more? What brought Jimin to tears in the bustle of the metropolis? All this became the starting point for a dramatic story that, although it may not be completely verifiable, was able to bring incredible emotional sensations to fans. This article, without citing a real web source, will plunge readers into an imaginative yet lifelike narrative, unraveling every detail in circulation, diving into fans' reactions, and offering an empathetic interpretation of the situation we want to raise as a dramatic story full of surprises. Throughout this paper, there will be no short bullet points or lists of dry statistics. There is only a long narrative flow that weaves tension, repeatedly provoking curiosity with rhetorical questions. Veiled hints, emotional clickbait, and small surprises arranged in such a way as to keep the reader glued to the end. Let's start this story as if we were reading a novel, but with a sense of news that is written as if revealed from the whispers of those who were at the forefront. A few weeks ago, rumors about Jungkook's secret trip to Tokyo began circulating among the army who used to monitor the footsteps of their beloved idol. But this rumor isn't just about a casual visit. Jungkook reportedly travels through corners of the city that are rarely touched by the general public, places that are only possible to be known by someone who really understands the meaning behind each location. For example, a tiny cafe in the Koenji district is known for its vintage feel, with finely chipped wooden walls and rows of warm, dim lights. Or a hidden park on the outskirts of the city center, which can only be accessed through narrow alleys and door locks that are not listed on any tourist map. What is Jungkook's motive for going through those places? Is it simply looking for peace in the midst of a busy schedule? Or is there a special message he wants to leave for someone, in this case, Jimin? The first news came from a fan who claimed to see Jungkook suddenly appear somewhere alone, wearing a hat and mask, mingling with a local crowd without a large escort. He was sitting quietly, staring at the Tokyo twilight sky, heard writing something in a small notebook. The moment was captured vaguely in an amateur video that later circulated on the army chat group, flashing glimpses of a figure believed to be Jungkook, against a backdrop of tall buildings reflecting the light of city lights. Did the note contain a message for Jimin? Or maybe it was just Jungkook's personal musings that were later misinterpreted by fans. In the tradition of BTS, who are known to care about each other, it's not strange that whatever one member does is always connected to another member, especially when it comes to close friendly relations such as between Jungkook and Jimin. However, this is where the tension of the story lies. Do we have to believe the whispers of fans looking at a fragment of a scene, or instead look for a deeper meaning behind every little detail, tracing Jungkook and Jimin's relationship? We know they have been through many phases together, from a young trainee full of dreams to a global superstar who is now recognized everywhere. Together, they chalked up heartwarming moments, from the release of a touching song to an onstage performance that left fans in awe. There is a sense of togetherness that is not easy to describe in words. Understanding gazes, small gestures backstage, to invisible support when undergoing a heavy schedule. So when the story emerged that Jungkook left a secret trail in Tokyo, which then triggered Jimin's tears, the fans immediately imagined a narrative full of emotions. Maybe Jungkook wanted to remember or honor something he had faced with Jimin. Or was there a special event in Tokyo that touched both of them to tears? One clue that sticks out is the news that at a hidden cafe, Jungkook left an envelope containing a hand letter and a specially designed bracelet. According to rumors, the letter contained an expression of gratitude for the friendship and unconditional support that Jimin had given all this time, while the bracelet bore certain symbols, perhaps initials. Perhaps there was a secret message that only Jimin could understand. It is said that Jimin found the envelope when he was visiting Tokyo for a promotional schedule, or maybe just on vacation. When opening the letter, suddenly old memories seemed to flood his mind. The moments when they first trained together, when Jimin calmed Jungkook in the midst of doubt, to various bittersweet experiences while in Seoul that seemed to confirm that without Jimin, Jungkook would not have reached this point. Imagine that emotional reaction, standing in the middle of a Tokyo crowd, shaking hands, opening a letter, looking at a bracelet in fine detail, then tears streaming down uncontrollably, a moment that, if it really happened, would have washed away anyone watching. However, is there any real evidence? Or is this just a series of rumors that grow wild among the army hungry for dramatic stories? When the news of the envelope and bracelet circulated, the reaction of fans on social media exploded. The hashtag #JackJungkook Tokyo immediately trending on various platforms. Many have speculated that this is part of a secret promotion for an upcoming project, perhaps a solo video clip of Jungkook set in Tokyo, or an album teaser that takes up the theme of nostalgia and friendship. There are also those who think this is a form of Jungkook's appreciation for Jimin, perhaps related to certain milestones that have not been officially announced. But there was also skepticism. Some intel in the fandom highlighted that there was no official confirmation from the agency or management, plus the location of the cafe was said to be difficult to reach, which led to allegations that this story was just a viral hoax. This is where the tension of the story comes to a head. ARMY is divided between full trust and doubt, between hoping there is a deep story behind it and being wary of hoaxes that can trigger uncontrollable crowds. However, let's delve deeper. Is it possible that Jungkook deliberately prepared a secret surprise for Jimin in Tokyo? They have been on several vacations together, undergoing global tours that certainly take them to big cities like Tokyo. It is possible that this moment has to do with a certain anniversary, a debut anniversary, a friendship anniversary, or something personal. For example, the location where they started discussing a particular song. Imagine if in trainee times, Jungkook and Jimin once sat together in a small cafe in Tokyo, discussing their dreams. Now, Jungkook returns to where he used to be as a form of appreciation. This kind of story, although unverified, gives room for fans' imagination. How sweet it would be if a BTS member arranged a secret surprise for his partner, to the point of making his heart move in a foreign city. But on the other hand, it is not uncommon for the management to prevent leaks of this kind so as not to disrupt busy schedules or trigger large crowds. So, if there is an envelope or bracelet, it could be just digital engineering, image manipulation, or false rumors spread through screenshots of fake group chats. In many cases, ARMY is famous for cracking the code that Idol left behind. From countdown puzzles and social media posts to cryptic clues and song lyrics, fans often feel allowed to understand hidden messages. So it was with Jungkook's trail story. Some fans interpreted his photo uploads on Instagram as a hint, a photo of a Tokyo night scene with streetlights of a certain shape, connected, for example, by symbols on bracelets. There is also a short caption highlighting old memory or for you, which is considered to refer to Jimin. But was it a coincidence, or was it designed on purpose? We know Jungkook and Jimin have collaborated in the creative process, so it is not impossible that there is nonverbal communication in the form of symbols or gestures in cyberspace. But, without official confirmation, all speculation remains in the realm of hearsay. When Jimin arrived in Tokyo, either for official scheduling reasons or for a short break, he said he was directed by a certain fan to a secret cafe. Some said that a secret guide sent Jimin an address via DM, giving instructions to come at 1600 hours local time, when the evening light thickens the shadow in the corner of the room. Jimin, who is known to be warm-hearted and likes to greet fans, may be tempted to try to investigate this rumor, or maybe just want to enjoy a quiet atmosphere away from the hustle and bustle of promotions. When he arrived, it was as if he were reading a clue on the wall. A Polaroid with a picture of the two of them in the training room, a certain date crossed out, and a fine handwriting. Our memories here will never fade. Imagine the sensation of finding such traces of the past, a mixed feeling of happiness, sadness, longing, and gratitude. If this is true, it is not surprising that Jimin's tears were shed, not only because of sweet memories, but also because of the burden of the long journey they went through together. Non-stop training, the pressure of popularity, longing for family, to self-doubt that might have haunted. On the other hand, Jungkook's reaction was also in the spotlight. Did he deserve to leave such a trail without telling Jimin beforehand? Or that's exactly what he meant. Total surprise for Jimin to feel spontaneous emotions without preparation. In previous interviews, Jungkook has revealed that he likes to design simple surprises for the other members, preparing a favorite meal, writing a little note backstage, or singing an impromptu song in the rehearsal room. If this time Jungkook chooses Tokyo as the setting, there are special considerations, perhaps because Tokyo has a sentimental meaning for both, or Jungkook wants to convey a long-distance message, because maybe Jimin was not there at that time. However, if these rumors are false and the cafe is just a fabrication, then who benefits from this story? Is there anyone who deliberately spreads hoaxes to get attention? Or is it just fan fiction that spreads without control? Fact or fiction? The reaction of fans demonstrates the power of narrative. When such a moving story is exposed, fans are ready to respond with full support, but can also be disappointed if the story later collapses as a hoax. Like the dramatic story on the screen, there is also an element of mystery behind the secret guide who directs Jimin. Is this guide really affiliated with Jungkook, or just an over-enthusiastic fan who wants to make a sensation? Some fans claim that this person has access to management, but this claim is difficult to prove because related parties always maintain confidentiality. There is also a theory that the guide was an old friend of Jungkook living in Tokyo, who was given the secret task of organizing a flashback trip for Jimin. If true, it shows how deeply Jungkook cares about his teammates' happiness, that he is willing to arrange every detail in order to give unforgettable moments. But considering the context of BTS's busy schedule, did Jungkook have time to do such careful planning? It could be that preparations are made well in advance, with a neat secret coordination between staff and close friends. But all this is still in the realm of hypotheses without concrete evidence. Furthermore, Jimin's crying in Tokyo is not just an expression of sadness or emotion. He can also shed tears as a form of emotional release. We know living under the global spotlight brings enormous stress. Every gesture is monitored, every word is groped for its meaning. For Jimin, finding traces of the past that touch the heart can be a moment of release, an opportunity to reset emotions, appreciate the journey that has been lived, and prepare for the next challenge. If the envelope containing the letter contained words that recalled the initial struggle, gratitude, and hope for the future, it was no wonder that Jimin felt deeply touched, especially if the content of the letter includes personal phrases that are rarely expressed publicly. For example, Jungkook writes about his admiration for Jimin's steadfastness, or apologizes for moments in the past when he felt less supportive. This kind of moment of inner reconciliation can be very emotional, and the story also serves as an inspiration for fans who also face life's twists. That true friends are always present at the darkest point, even through invisible traces in a foreign city. Nevertheless, we must carefully think about the impact of stories of this kind on the psychology of fans. When exaggerated rumors trigger expectations that are too high, disappointment can arise if it turns out that the story is just fiction. The army is known to be very loyal, but feeling betrayed over false rumors can also lead to a rift in trust in certain sources of information. Therefore, it's important for every fan to balance enthusiasm with healthy skepticism. Enjoy heartwarming narratives, but don't easily get caught up in unverified news. On the other hand, if this story was actually conceived by Jungkook and his management as part of a creative promotional campaign, then this is a brilliant example of how artists can create emotional engagement without sacrificing integrity. Fans feel involved in an emotional adventure. Then when confirmation comes, the sense of happiness and admiration deepens. But we do not yet know whether this is a marketing strategy or spontaneous improvisation of Jungkook himself. In the midst of all the speculation, ARMY had mixed reactions. Some created fan art depicting the moment Jimin opens a letter in a Tokyo cafe, with dim lights and Haru's expression. Others wrote short fiction based on rumors, developing their story to a sweet or dramatic ending. Even the international community designed speculative translation threads, discussing the meaning of symbols on bracelets, the color of ropes, and handwriting on letters. This interaction shows how strong the emotional bond between fans and idols is. Stories, while not entirely true, serve as a medium for fans to express their love and creativity. From this, we can see